Do you find yourself worrying about the way your life is turning? Take a moment, stop, and listen to God speaking to you. Too many of us are familiar with it. A tight feeling in the chest, butterflies in the stomach. Worrying seems like a natural response to the challenging nature of life on earth, but Scripture provides insight on the supernatural means of thriving even amidst uncertain times. So how do we live in a way that we do not worry about tomorrow, a sense of impending doom? Matthew 6 verse 34 reminds us of what God has to say about worrying. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. While the pain of life can feel excruciating and tempt us to worry, we are not left alone in it. The same passage in Romans comforts believers that the Spirit helps us in our weakness. For we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And He who searches hearts knows what the mind of the Spirit is, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. For those whom He foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, in order that He might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those whom He predestined, He also called, and those whom He called, He also justified, and those whom He justified, He also glorified. Do you believe that God's goodness and mercy is pursuing you, that He walks with you to guide you, that His Spirit is indwelling you and interceding for you? You are not alone. Yet in the midst of life's storms, we are prone to forget or question His care for us, just like Peter did when another storm blew up and Jesus appeared walking on the water and asked Peter to come to Him. At first, when looking at Jesus, Peter was able to walk on the waves too. But as soon as he focused his attention instead on the waves themselves, worry took over and he began to sink. If you are overwhelmed by looming waves in your own life and feel that they're obscuring your view of God, draw near to Him in prayer by being still. Psalm 46 says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. And in the midst of this chaos, God speaks, be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The psalm concludes with a sense of God's presence despite continued tumult. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. The Bible also teaches several principles about worrying, emphasizing trust in God and faith over anxiety. Today I will share with you some key teachings how to overcome worrying. Number 1, trust in God's provision. In Matthew 6 verses 25 to 34, Jesus teaches not to worry about basic needs like food and clothing, showing how God provides for the birds and flowers. Can you imagine a God who cares and provides for flowers, much less you? He longs to love and care for you constantly. If we seek God, kingdom, and righteousness first, assuring that needs will be met. Number 2, prayer and peace. Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7 advises believers to present their requests to God through prayer and thanksgiving instead of being anxious. It promises that God's peace, which surpasses understanding, will guard their hearts and minds. Number 3, God's care, 1 Peter 5 verse 7 encourages casting all anxieties on God because He cares for His people, highlighting the personal and loving nature of God's relationship with believers. Number 4, avoiding future anxiety. In Matthew 6 verse 34, Jesus advises not to worry about tomorrow, as each day has enough trouble of its own. This teaching focuses on living in the present and trusting God with the future. Number 5, faith and fear. In various instances, such as Matthew 8 verse 26, Jesus challenges his followers to have faith instead of fear, demonstrating that faith in God's power and presence can overcome worry. God is our strength and shield. He plans out each day and have it ready for us long before we arise from bed. He provides the strength we need each step of the way. Instead of assessing your energy level and wondering about what's on the road ahead, concentrate on staying in touch with me. God's power flows freely into you through our open communication. Refuse to waste energy worrying, and you will have strength to spare. Whenever you start to feel afraid, remember that God is your shield. But unlike inanimate armor, He is always alert and active. God's presence watches over you continually, protecting you from dangers. God is with you and will watch over you wherever you go.